Hi, okay, your ex is ashamed to tell you something, okay? They've been hiding something. I feel that they're watching you, okay? They're keeping an eye on you. They could be a fire sign or a water sign, I'm getting today. They're very arrogant, okay? Very stubborn. I do feel they would like to offer some sort of an apology, okay? But I do really feel strongly today that they're not sure if you'll forgive them because they abandoned you, okay? In some shape or form, you felt abandoned. Not just split up, not just, ghosted, but that real deep-seated pain. I feel there's a lot of pain in your energy, okay? They almost... when you get that pain and it just cuts inside. It's like your heart actually physically hurts, okay? They're very, very ashamed. They dismissed you, all right? You had a conversation with your person, your ex, and they told you were being irrational or you were making it up or don't be stupid. That's not happening, but they were definitely hiding something from you. I'm going to have a look at that today and see what that could be about. Was it another situation, third party, debt, family? I'm not quite sure what they were hiding, but it was big enough for you to want to have the conversation, which I think you tried to have many, many times, but they just kept telling you, I'm hearing the word irrational, okay? You were being irrational. Let me just have one card before we go any further. Yes, they left you, your energy in strength in the reverse, okay? So they left you feeling very vulnerable. Okay, they definitely affected your self-esteem. They made you feel inadequate, but you knew they were lying. All right, you knew they were lying. You knew they were keeping secrets. But this card is your confirmation. Okay, you were put down, let down, and this affected you. Okay, and they made out that you were imagining it all. All right, so let me have a look today. Let's see if we can dig deeper into what this secret was, okay? What is going on in their environment, and more importantly, what are they going to do next? Because we have got an apology card sat in the centre. When I was doing a pre-shuffle, these three cards came out. Okay, so let me give these a shuffle. Just while I'm shuffling though, I hope you're okay. I hope you're well. That's the main thing. If you'd like a reading, click on the title of the video. Everything is below in the description box, the link to the website. And also check out the $1 special offer reading that's limited for a time. Go check that out, and thank you for all your support and all your comments. Please leave your comments. I do read all of them. Okay, I'm taking cards out now for their secret. What was it? Right, okay. Right. Yeah, they were hiding. They were quite imbalanced towards the end of your relationship, maybe before that, okay? They were possibly had an addiction as well. They were very much all or nothing. I feel they were hiding some sort of they were self-indulging in something. Now, the two things I'm getting from this are either addiction or there was a relationship in their past that they hadn't processed properly. Okay, I'm not saying they were still in love with the person in their past, but there was a feeling of some unrequited love that they had not worked through. Okay, I feel they were numbing their feelings today, and I feel this is what they were hiding from you. I feel that they were trying to block it out. Okay, we've got Temperance in reverse. So instead of dealing with it, they were reckless, they were hasty, they were really quite antagonistic. you know, they would not face this problem, okay? They have got blocked or repressed emotions. Now, the Emperor has also come out, but it's in the reverse. So this is really clarification of what we've just been talking about. Instead of manning up, womaning up, whatever you want to say, instead of, you know, thinking, okay, I need to sort this, I have a problem. No, they abused their power. They were very either controlling or they just didn't give a damn. And I feel they veered between the two energies. I feel sometimes they could be a little bit controlling and really quite rude, but other times it was as if they just didn't care. Okay, they just didn't care. They definitely have a lack of control. They have lack of control. Okay, they really gaslighted you into believing that you were the problem, where all along they were hiding their own issues. Okay, like I say, it could be, you know, addiction. Now that can mean many things. That can be just even mean spending money, gambling, you know, you can go through the whole thing, but it's something that is done in excess that will affect a relationship. Okay, and they were hiding it. Now, on top of all of this, I also feel with this Emperor in reverse, there were some father issues. Okay, going back to their past, either their father might have been absent or he was very controlling and quite cruel and cold, and you do it my way, or, you know, I'll wipe that smile off your face kind of energy. Very Gen X saying that is, isn't it? But that's what I really get. And they were hiding this from you. They were hiding this from you. Now, I feel they called you irrational because you knew. I feel that you knew. I feel you confronted them. They didn't have the balls to admit it. So now what they're doing really is they're just watching you. What's going on in their environment now? What is going on in this person's environment? Okay, I've got a female energy in the environment. Could be a mother figure, sister figure. Could be a third party. Okay, that they're clinging on to, but they don't want to be there. They're frightened of being alone. Okay, and also with that Five of Pentacles, they could be clinging on because whoever this female energy is, they can help them out in the physical. So that means with material stuff, maybe somewhere to sleep, a roof over their heads, that kind of energy. Yeah. There is a possibility, I'm just looking at these two cards, that the female could be a third party energy, okay? But I don't feel that it's going to last much longer. I feel that your ex is staying because they feel restricted, and I don't know, is somebody feeding someone's addiction? That's what I just heard. Because that can happen, you know. Whereas you didn't. Whatever was going on, you're like, you know, no, I'm having my say here. But I feel in this situation, someone is enabling your ex, okay? I feel like they're enabling them. I feel your ex presented a image of having their life together, okay? But they have very deep-rooted issues. Very, very deep-rooted issues. And they lashed out at you because you stood up to them. I know it didn't feel like it at the time, and yeah, they did knock your confidence. And they left you very vulnerable, abandoned, with really low self-esteem. And that happens when someone you're in a close relationship with continually puts you down and puts you down and puts you down. The way the brain works, it's science, eventually you actually start to believe them. Okay, that's why people find it hard to get out of toxic relationships. Not because they can't recognise it, but this cognitive dissonance between what the brain knows to be real as opposed to what you're being told, you know, repeatedly. Okay, so I think your ex is with somebody who enables them, somebody who's got them in a situation that maybe if they try to leave, they will end up in some form of, you know, poverty, even with this Five of Pentacles here, like a poverty. I think your ex presents themselves as having themselves together, but they're not. They're not at all. Okay, they are very, very ashamed of what they did. Gosh, are they going to do anything? Are they actually going to do anything? At the moment, they're in the Ace of Wands, but it's in the reverse. So I feel they're watching you. I feel that they wish deep down that they hadn't pushed you away. Okay, but I still, and I've got to be honest, I still feel there's part of them that hasn't got the wherefore, as we say, meaning they haven't got either the energy, or there's still part of them that doesn't want to face themselves. So they're almost like watching you, but holding back, because the Ace of Wands in the reverse is hesitant, restricted, missed opportunities. Okay. I feel they'll leave that situation they're in, though. I really do feel they will. Why will they leave the situation they're in now if they're dependent? What's going to happen? Death card. Yeah, the Death card's out. Slowly but surely, their feelings for you, even if you don't want them back, okay, this is what I've been heard to say, their feelings for you will get the better of them. So even if you don't want them back, they won't stay where they are, okay? Because the Death card's all about endings, all right? And they're going to realise that they're flogging a dead horse where they are, okay? And I'm just hearing the word therapy. I'm just hearing the word therapy with your ex. Yeah, and I think they would rather be on their own. I feel this person's going to have some sort of an awakening, okay? I feel they're going to realise they know what they've done now. But they can't come back in until they've sorted themselves out, okay? And I feel they've got to come back in standing on their own 2 feet, being brutally honest and brutally truthful this time, because your guides are saying this is not your responsibility to heal them. You have shown them a mirror when you separated of their faults. That's why they lied. That's why they did what they did. That's why they bullied you, because you showed them who they really, really were. Now they've gone into this other situation because whoever it is enabling them. They've been sat pretty, quite comfortable, and also the finance issue with the Five of Pentacles. But the Five of Pentacles in their environment also speaks to me of someone who is feeling left out in the cold and spiritually empty. Okay, they know there's got to be a change. So what I see today is them leaving this environment with the Death card. Okay, it's going. I'm just hearing that word, it's going. But then they will sort themselves out and they will get themselves to a place where they are independent, they are stronger, okay, and they are going to put the work in. All right, then at the bottom of the deck, the unknown, what you don't see coming is the King of Wands. Okay, that is their energy, their king energy, and they will come back in that energy. So they are going to come back in confident, straightened out, sorted out, and optimistic about, hopefully, you might want to entertain them again, you might not, okay? But they've realised, I just feel they've hit rock bottom. And I don't know why I'm hearing addiction, whatever it is. I mean, it can be a sex addiction, you know, it can be that. But I feel they've hit rock bottom and they've got to sort themselves out. They've got to process this thing from the past, this sadness, this pain, all these blocked and repressed emotions, okay? And I feel they will do that, and I feel they will come back in. Now, the King of Wands for me, that is springtime energy. Can be May. I don't know why May. But they want to come back in straight with you this time, not half a job. They know they've got a lot of work to do. Yes, Wheel of Fortune just split the deck. They're hoping you'll give it another go, okay? They're hoping that you will give it another go. There's going to be a decisive moment for them when that death card comes in. Something's going to trigger them when, you know, sometimes when you get to a point and you think, I've just got to change, something's got to change here. They're going to get to that point, okay? There's going to be upheaval for them. They're not going to come straight from the situation they're in now to you, okay? They're going to rebuild something. They're going to have something to offer to you, okay? They want to come in the King of Wands energy. So I feel they will work it out. They will work it out. Yeah, okay, 3 messages before we wrap this up. Just being near you is intoxicating. I hope that you can forgive me one day. That is key to this reading, okay? Forgiveness, that's already come out. So my cards are just clarifying. They want your forgiveness, but they have got to sharpen their pencil, as we say over here. They can't come in with half a thing. You know, you don't have to heal them. You're not there to tolerate whatever, because they were in temperance in the reverse. Whatever they were indulging in, whatever discord, antagonism, recklessness they were causing because they were imbalanced, is not your problem. We will be together again. Okay, let me just see one more on their energy and their environment before we wrap this up. Shopping to feel something. Wow. Emptiness, impulse spending, escapism. Yeah, that's it. That's clarified the whole reading. They've got some addiction to something to fill that emptiness. Unrequited love. It could have been their parents, okay? It could have been an ex. Maybe they were married before in a relationship. But there's something they have been filling their emptiness with, their sadness. Impulse. Now it says impulse spending. It can be impulse anything. Recklessness. Impulse. I don't know. Chatting online. Impulse. Playing around. Impulse. You know, other addictions. But you know, this card's come out because they're realising it. It's in their energy. Not just telling us what they did or they've been doing, because we know that. But I feel with that death card, they're recognising their patterns. Okay? And I feel that's really positive today. I really do think that's positive. Yeah, bottom of the deck, suppression, numbness. Okay? That's what they're ashamed to tell you. They're ashamed, I feel, to tell you as well that they are hurt, that their past has hurt them, and they're not that strong person or whatever they presented themselves to you at the beginning, or even for maybe a few years. They're not that person. They've been hiding all the time, pain. Well, it's coming to a head now. It's coming to a head. Okay, they're going to face it and they're going to start sorting themselves out. And I feel there will be some communication with that King of Wands. And if nothing else, you take from this reading, you were right to say and do what you did, okay? You were there. You were the one that actually showed them who they could be and not who they were being. You were the one that had faith in them. You were the one that saw them and still tried, okay? Whereas wherever they are now, it's just enabling. Someone's just enabling them. Yeah, someone's just enabling them to keep them there. I've seen it so many times. You know, I'm old now. I've seen it, you know. And sometimes those relationships, they just destroy each other. But in this case, I just feel your ex is seeing the light, okay? And they needed to go through this. But you still have free will. That's really important for you today, I feel. I'm just going to get you a message, actually, that you have free will. You choose. This is your life. You know, you could say, well, that's great, Keeley, but, you know, I'm not doing that again. And I can see that. You know, they made you feel pretty crap, you know. And nobody, you should never feel like that, because, you know, you're amazing. You are enough just the way you are. Okay? Just because you're breathing, you're perfect. Okay? So, you do have free will. Let me just get you a message. You're being there's a message here. Your loved ones are safe. Let go of your fear and worry for your loved ones. I'm looking after them. This is my Archangel Michael deck. I do love this deck. Anything else? Your prayers are being answered. Okay? Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you did not expect. So there's something around your loved ones. This is probably not even to do with this relationship, but there's something else going on. Keep the faith, okay? Even if it looks like everything's crumbling down around you, trust me, just keep the faith and focus on what it is you want, not what's happening out here. Your vibration is rising, okay? You're evolving. And I feel that your ex is feeling this energy, that your energy's risen, and we're only energy. You know, when we die, you can't destroy energy. Okay? So your ex can feel your energy rising, and they are now being drawn to get off their backsides, literally, and sort their life out. Okay? But you remember who you are, always, regardless of any of this. You're the prize, you're the chosen one, you're on the pedestal, and you are worthy of everything just because you exist, okay? Take good care, I love you very much, and thanks for watching.